Okay, well, okay, everyone, everyone who's not here, come. This is my first going live on YouTube, and honestly, this is just me answering a soul call. I'm very tired today, and I'm curious if anybody comes on with me tonight. How are you feeling? Are you feeling exhausted, unplugged? This, I think, is the full moon in Pisces, and we have a lot of planets in retrograde that I'm going to talk about today. But really, what I was called to do was to come on here and just begin in this way to hold space for those who may need to check in. I typically show up for my friend Julia Anderson's. She does a breath empowerment offering near, before, on, or after the full moon every month. And I've been joining her to talk about the astrology, but she had other plans this month. And I'll be joining her again, I think, next month. But in the meantime, I felt called to come on and check in with all of you and how you're feeling with the full moon, what you're noticing, talk a little bit more about the astrological weather. And then I really want to offer a guided inner reflection meditation. I never know what to call those because what I do is like what I do when I'm in a private session. I listen to my clients. I'm, trying to gather where they're at. I check in what are you noticing and what do you want to experience instead? And then I weave the entire session together, typically at the end with guided inner reflection, hypnosis. Hypnosis and meditation are pretty much the same. It's the intention and how you're doing the offering. And so that was what was on my heart as I was sitting, reading a book earlier, feeling very cozy, very turned within. I started to feel into other people, like just the moon in Pisces, although technically it's now void, of course, by the time I'm recording this. But we had, a few days of moon in Pisces, and then it culminated into the full moon. And I wonder if you watch this later to listen to the guided meditation that you might comment about what you noticed during this particular full moon with the sun in Virgo and the moon in Pisces. And I still encourage you to watch my video on that. And then also the new moon in Virgo, because we're still in Virgo season. And I talked a lot about utilizing, tethering in, being supported by Virgo energy and Virgo ways, Virgo medicine, because that is what I believe astrology is. It's like supporting us and unfolding our purpose and potential. And so there's no bad moon rising or anything negative about an aspect or even your own charts. For those of you who get into astrology and look at your charts, for me, I'm constantly digging deeper into my chart. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to lie, I had some intense transits over the last 2 years. We had our intense collective transits during the pandemic. That's what called me back into astrology in a greater way to help understand what is happening, right? Not only individually, but in the collective unfolding. So this is, oh, hi, Brittany. There's somebody here. Yay. I should have guessed who would be here. And Brittany is one of those lovely souls who always comments and always checks on what I'm doing. So thank you, sweetheart. Bless you. Glad you're here. That was fun. Where's everybody else? Get here. Anyway, so embracing all that God is bringing to us, this divine orchestration really going on. And that is what called me back to astrology, because I do believe our Creator sent us here with a purpose, with a plan, with support. And astrology is a navigational tool to track what's going on. And then with conscious awareness, make choices that support us in the direction of our potential. And you could even say destiny. Okay. So tonight I did make a few notes here. Brittany, I don't know if you can respond. How are you doing? I want to try this chat thing. This is my first time being live. So let me know how you're doing. And I'm going to go to my notes in the meantime. Just going to get a little practice. Here's the thing, folks. Unless you're willing to be perfectly imperfect when you practice, you will never practice to progress. There's no perfection. So I like to say practice makes progress, not perfection, because you know what? We're not here to be perfect people. We're just here to be the essence of who we are, to reclaim the essence of who we are. And we stumble and fumble in doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here we get these false ideas of, how we're supposed to be, how much training we're supposed to have. Yes, if you're doing something like me and being support to others with a specific focus of nurturing soul potential and doing soul work and all that comes with that, yeah, get some training, do your dirt work, do your due diligence of gathering up what you need to stand on a foundation to support others. But I know a lot of people who have so much training and so 2 masters, PhDs. Everyone who feels called to support others may also feel, when you step forward, no matter how much training and wisdom and experience you have, you still show up with shaky knees. You just show up. And I want to just see if, sorry, I went to my notes. I'm going to go back to this page because I can't see. There we go. Okay. I love this. Thanks for responding. This is so fun. Okay. So Brittany says, yep, doing really wonderful. Keeping the peace all around me with the nature. Awesome. Love it. I want to say something else before I go to the notes. I had such a huge blessing. I've been doing this video, offering this channel for 2 years, and that is just on top of my 21 plus years of being I call myself a soul guide, doing hypnotherapy, NLP, soul work, dream work, and now adding to my mix, even though I've been studying astrology since I was 15, adding to the mix, looking at soul charts for folks and following the celestial weather to support my clients and my friends who follow me here to help navigate what you're going through and what I like to say, what you're growing through. And truly, when I was called to do this tonight, I thought, okay, I'm tired. I really just want to stay tucked in, read my book, do some journaling, do my own full moon practices, which for me was dream work. I wanted to work a dream that I got last night. But I kept feeling this tug, come do this tonight. And because that is us, especially with the moon in Pisces, that was me feeling into the collective. Me showing up here today is saying, I recognize that someone may be out there who is struggling, who may be feeling a little lonely tonight, who may be feeling really heavy with emotions with this moon in Pisces. Although again, technically the moon is void of course going into Aries tonight at I think 11:20 something p.m. But we still feel it 3 days before and 3 days after a full moon or a new moon. So again, I encourage you to go and watch my videos to glean from how this full moon was, what this full moon was inviting you to do to help you unfold your potential, to kind of, love when I do a video and someone says, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I needed to hear, or that really spoke to me. And I was starting to talk about a blessing I received after two plus years of doing this, offering here, every time showing up with shaky knees, every time saying, what am I doing this for? Who cares? And yet I know if God calls you to something, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters but answering the call and showing up with your shaky knees, trusting God will meet you there. Because if you're called to something, I feel if you're called to something, it's God using you for something. It's God using you in my regard. My whole mission is supporting others. And I call myself the soul nurturer because I feel like I've developed over all these years, dialed into what is it I do? I help nurture potential in all souls. Yeah. I help nurture soul potential that God has placed in us. And I help my clients, my friends, and myself. I really feel that is, God blesses us with this life, right? And how we bless or we return the favor is by fulfilling the potential that God has placed within us. So that's to me a soul call. Okay, I want to talk about a few things, and so I'm going to go to my notes, and it's kind of hard to kind of toggle back and forth between. I want to see if anybody else comments or comes on, but I want to tell you that again, that soul call. I'm curious. Brittany's watching live. I'm just wondering, maybe people when you join another time. I am always curious to hear about what you feel called to by God. What are your soul calls, and do you listen? Um, and I felt too that I don't typically do this, but I'm also a spiritual director. I went through a 2-year training program to help people navigate their spiritual journeys. And full moon in Pisces, this is a time where we might have been drawn more to our spiritual practices, or been curious about, what do I believe, and trying to make meaning out of our lives, right? So I felt called, part of the call today, when I was sitting in my cozy chair reading a book. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, is to start with, before I go a little bit into more into the cycle of the new moon or the full moon, and then go to the guided imagery. I wanted to know, and again, if you're watching this later, because I just see I've got my one person here watching with me, but Brittany, you please do answer if you have a need. The question on my heart was, or the call on my heart was, to reach out to people in need of prayer. And hi, Joe Martin. I don't know who you are, but welcome. But anyone in need of prayer, and this really, I feel like there's so much need for prayer right now. We're told to pray without ceasing. So true for these times, right? And for me, if you're an empath like me, any empaths out there, we can feel the heaviness of, what's happening in the world, or if you're on Facebook. I try not to be on social media too much, because like empaths, I'm an empath. I like this, like a sponge. I like pull that story, this story, and then sometimes you just you flip on something you don't mean to be there. And for me, I watched some video. It was so quick, before I knew what I was watching, I was like, I already felt it pulled in, and I was like, oh, heavy. So I know a lot of people are grieving right now, my family included. My sister. My brother-in-law passed away a month ago, and my sister's family, my nieces and nephew, and Richard's side of the family had another loss. And yeah, heavy stuff on the planet, right? Heavy stuff. And so if you're in need of prayer, I'm going to just start with a quick prayer. I'm more trans-denominational. I have studied many different paths to Creator. I call myself a progressive Christian. However, I'm a very inclusive person when it comes to prayer, when it comes to faith. I believe that different religions are is a different language, the way we connect with God. So however you connect to God through prayer, I say, cool. I love the quote from Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that is sufficient. But I do want to just send a prayer out to all who my compassionate heart, which is expanded in this full moon in Pisces, is wanting to just wrap around. So I'm just going to do a really quick prayer for anyone out there who needs a prayer, okay? And then I'll get back to my story of my blessing. Okay. So go ahead and just turn within for this moment, closing eyes, turning within, breathing in through heart. And just thinking in this moment, everyone that's on your heart. Sometimes our hearts can become heavy because we are like collecting those we're concerned about, those we're feeling into their lives, their struggles, their challenges, their loss, their pain, physically, emotionally. And in this collective world we share, Queen Elizabeth just passed away. And even though, I'm in the US, I know a lot of friends here were really impacted by that. A huge tear in the fabric of our collective experience. She was a matriarch, a grandmother, a strong, powerful woman, and whatever she symbolized to anyone, whether we're, in the UK or not, we could feel that. So feeling into our own heavy hearts and just thinking of all the people you heard their story, and maybe you even said, I'll hold you in my prayers, or I'll pray for you. So let's just send our love and prayers to surround all those people in need of a prayer tonight, right where they are. The love and the grace of God enfolding them, embracing them, surrounding them in love and a peace beyond this world. Everything that we've gathered in our hearts, we surrender to God, knowing that all that concerns us, God will take care of. So I invite you, as you're listening to this prayer, to surrender anything that's concerning you, anywhere you are feeling some struggle, some grief, some sadness, some disappointment, some disillusionment. These are things that happen with the Pisces full moon. Just offer it up to Creator, to the universe, to God, to Jesus, however you connect, however you pray. So we just send out our prayers surrounding all those in need tonight, trusting and knowing that all will be well right where they are. Okay. That felt important. Hopefully that helps someone out there. So my blessing I wanted to share before I go back to my notes, and then we're going to jump into a guided meditation and inner reflection to work with this beautiful gift of this full moon and this energy of Pisces and the sun in Virgo and all the various aspects that are supporting our unfolding. Let's see. Let me just go here for a moment. Okay. That prayer really touched me there. So my blessing was continuing on this call, even though, as I said, oftentimes I do this with doubt. You know, we are spiritual beings, or I like to say souls having a human experience, and fear and doubt is in the human experience. It is not of our soul. It is not of our essence. It is not who God created us to be. But doubt and fear can creep in, right? But I keep going, I keep growing, I'm willing to fumble about and make a silly fool out of myself sometimes for the sake of learning and growing and for the sake of outreaching my heart to support others, to nurture that soul potential. This is the whole goal of the Soul Nurturer channel, to nurture potential through transformational processes, through prayer, through dream work, through astrology. So the other day, I sent a clip of my full moon video out to a number of people on email. And one of those people was Ricky Byers, who is someone that, when I tell you, this woman, I knew of her maybe 21 years ago when I attended Agape, and this glorious goddess would get on stage with all her just luminosity, and she's a mystical muse. She's a mystical musical muse. There we go. And really just like, wow, sitting in the church congregation, just in awe of this woman and her music. And I really want to invite you in this moment, before I tell you the blessing, to go to her channel, Ricky Byers, Rickie Byers, Byars. She has a YouTube channel, and she offers a beautiful music ministry on Sundays, and she offers on Wednesdays, she calls it Soul Fulfilling. So it's music and it's some soul coaching. It's powerful. So go check her out, and you're welcome. And so anyway, so I sent it to her, even though I'm like, she's not going to watch this. And not only did she watch it, she sent me an email back with some beautiful, affirmative, encouraging words. And I was really, that's how God works. You step through your fear, you go forward with the call, and then God sends a beautiful person to mirror back to you. You're okay. You're doing good. Keep going. So then I thought, after we exchanged some emails, I thought I haven't watched her YouTube channel for a while. I'm going to go check it out. I tune in on Wednesday night, and I tune in a little late, and I hear her talking about me, quoting me. Victoria Jaswick says, and I was like, what what is happening? And she was so touched by my video and it spoke to her that she shared about it on her channel, which was like, okay, I don't even know how to communicate this other than just like, if you meet somebody that you truly admire and you have a connection, like just, okay, first, I always fangirl out over her because she's so extraordinary. But for her to quote me was like, what in the world? Holly, hey, Holly, welcome. Anyway, it was astonishing. So then I just want to share this and then we're going to go into the astrology a little bit and then we're going to go into meditation. That Ricky invited me to expand my soul. Like someone sees what I'm offering and she valued it. And it was like, what? And she quoted me, somebody I admire quoting me, right? What is happening? So I always say that, what is happening when I'm in the middle of a huge blessing? It's like, what is happening? So huge blessing. And then the next day, which is what often happens when we expand to the fullness of our being and joy and love and soul potential, woo, we're big, right? The next day, what came creeping along? Dun, 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 doubt and fear causing me to close back up. I was like, oh, that was nice of her, but the video wasn't that good. And oh, that was nice of her. And maybe somebody told her that my astrology isn't that great. I was just like in my chatterbox head. Anybody do that? So that I wanted to talk about this tonight. The full moon illuminates our potential, our possibilities. It also illuminates the noisy, nag in our head or our wounded places or the old patterns that aren't serving us or stories from the past or events or situations we have not completed. It draws out. The full moon is, the moon is connected to our intuition, our instincts, our subconscious, and our emotion. So, this is what can happen. So we let it be drawn out, but the key is not to reattach to it. I found myself giving it a little bit too much power, and I said, that's it. I felt the call to do a video, and I'm like, that will quiet that negative chatter in my head, because when you answer a soul call, God shows up for you. Whew, makes me want to cry. So I want to know, is anybody feeling more emotional over the last 2 days, especially yesterday and today? Are you crying? Are you having, just more emotional release, which is tears? And also, how have your dreams been? Have you had any vivid dreams? Anybody? The moon in Pisces, and again, now it is void, of course, but it's a good time to review what we've noticed the last 2 days, was inviting us to deepen our spirituality, to do some creativity, to listen to our dreams. It's a time, Jung said, to bring the unconscious conscious. So I actually had a pretty profound dream last night. You felt it yesterday. And you're feeling good today. So, the full moon is kind of like a wave that comes. Some people catch it earlier and feel it earlier. Some people catch it at the tail end. Some get tangled in get pulled under the wave a little bit. I told you on the full moon video that this was going to be pretty gentle, but we're still going to be called to deeper awareness. That's what a full moon does. It illuminates the path before us. And as Ricky quoted me, what's in the way of our way. So we can clear that, cleanse that, release that, and get back to business. So Holly says, I have, not in a bad way, but we've been out in nature and a lot of places I've never been. Awesome, but also wanted to go. So I felt overwhelmed with the scenery and with nature. All right, Holly, you just gave the best soul medicine there is. Get out in nature. So when we go into nature and we really immerse in nature, we're called back to our true nature. And remember, our true nature, soul nature, isn't in doubt, isn't in fear. It is all essence. It's love, it's joy, it's peace, it's connection. We don't hear the noise of this human experience as much. So I imagine that really helped you a lot, Holly. I know you're such a nature gal, and good reminder, get outside. And, there's a reason why this has been trending, earthing and being a barefooter. And I laugh, and Holly knows my husband has been a barefooter since, I don't know, over, let's see, How old is he now? So I would say, well, since he was a kid, many years, I won't give you his age, but many years before it was trendy. And hey, trends, I hope this trend doesn't just trend out because it's an important thing. Earthing, putting your feet on the ground, being outdoors more. So anyway, that was my blessing, and I wanted to share that with you because you may see me on a YouTube channel. As many people we watch and we think, wow, we admire, and we go, wow, they're so confident. They're so that, yeah, sometimes I have confidence. And a lot of times I, like everyone else, am trying to quiet the noise in my head and step forward with something I've got. Holly says, I've never ever seen him with shoes. That, that is so true. In fact, in the winter, he will wear flip-flops, and people will always ask him, aren't your feet cold? And he's like, we didn't come into the world with shoes on our feet, right? So he doesn't say that, but I think he thinks that. Anyway, okay. So is anyone relating to what I'm talking about, where you feel expanded in possibilities and then you just get shut down with fear or doubt and then game over? This is for you, because I'm telling you, like the full moon, the full moon is showing us how to be in vulnerability. And although the full moon doesn't shine, it's the sun reflecting, it's the light of the sun reflecting off the moon. She sure does shine beautifully, right? And so in the vulnerability, and think about a full moon too. It's the fullness of the moon. So vulnerable to be that open and that large, and the light of the sun shining on it. And so, yes, when we stand up and we want to be in our fullness, the light shines on us. And guess what else is illuminated? Not only our potential and purpose, but our fears, our doubts, and our imperfections. That's one thing you just have to make peace with. Like, yeah, I got a lot of imperfections. I'm a perfectly imperfect human being, and that's just the way it is. So we embrace that, we make peace with that, and we show up. Okay. So I just want to see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. How about this? I'm going to do a guided meditation. Is there anything you want me to weave in for you, like a need for more clarity or confidence or peace of mind? Or is there anything you'd like me to weave into the guided inner reflection? Just put it in the comments. I'm going to go back to my notes and then to see if oh, I know. So I was asking about being tired, and Holly, you said, I don't know if you were responding directly to tired. See, I'm a little foggy today. That's moon in Pisces as well. Little foggy, more like, because Pisces is ethereal. It's otherworldly. It's like, just want to check out and daydream or follow my dreams or listen to music, or creativity, or get lost in a movie or a book. But have peace of mind and confidence. Got it. But how about your energy level? And the reason I'm asking about that is because we have Mercury just went into retrograde yesterday on the 9th, but that makes 7 planets in retrograde, plus Chiron, which isn't a planet, but I'm including it in the retrograde because I feel like if there's been heaviness or tired or feeling exhausted, or it could be because Chiron's been retrograding, and Chiron is the wounded healer that highlights our wounds and shows us what needs more healing. So people may be feeling a little bit more tired. I did have a client, or not a client, a friend, comment on Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, go see me there. I tend to check in there daily, and that is I Am the Soul Nurturer on Instagram. But she had asked me, she said, is the Mercury in retrograde the reason why I'm so tired? And I said, good chance. Yeah. But really, it's that there are 7 planets in retrograde plus Chiron. So be super, super gentle with yourself. Rest when you need to. That old Zen quote I often quote, which is, when you're tired, rest. When you're sad, cry. When you're hungry, eat. So the full moon in Pisces, definitely we may have felt more tired and more sad, or just more tender, and let yourself feel where you're at. So, okay. So now that the moon is in a waning gibbous phase, which means it's no longer full. It's beginning to get smaller, right? And it'll be in Aries at 11:47 p.m. tonight. So that means that by tomorrow morning, you may wake up refreshed and might be like, okay, now Aries wants you to go forward with some action steps. Okay. All right. So I mentioned the retrograde planets and a call to greater spiritual practices. This is a time for visioning. And do you all know what I mean by visioning? I call it soul visioning. That is an easy way to do it, especially during this full moon, was to look at what wasn't working and what would work better. And then soul visioning is, what do I need to know about my potential and possibilities that I may not be aware of? And you listen to your dreams, you do your dream work. And if you ever want to work on a dream, contact me. I love to do that with clients. But visioning is, yes, partnering with God to bring our potential and really, recognizing that we are souls having a human experience. And the visioning is like revitalizing the potential within us to keep going. And I wanted to share one last thing, and then we're going to go into the guided meditation. I was working with a client the other day, and a lot of times when I'm working with clients, and this is a spiritual direction client, and it just comes up. The question in spiritual direction often is, where is God in all of this, right? Where is God? And so I reframed it to her to say, where is grace with all that we're facing? Where is grace? And so we kind of explored, what does grace mean? And I'm curious, what does grace mean to you? What is the feeling of grace? This is a time when we need to offer grace to ourselves and to each other. But I said to her, and it was the first time I said it this way, and I offer this to you, and maybe I'll weave it into the meditation, that grace is a hug from God or universe, creator, spirit, nature, however you connect. It's an embrace. Grace is an embrace from the divine. That's even better. Grace is an embrace from the divine. I love it. I might make a post on that tomorrow. Anyway, okay, unless there's anybody have a question for me or anything else? Curious, Joe, where you are tuning in from. If you feel comfortable to let me know. If not, no worries. I'm glad you're here. Hey, we have accomplished when two or more are gathered. So thank you for being here with me tonight. Really grateful. I love you, Brittany. Grace means to me is showing us the love from God. Beautiful. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to invite you to get yourself cozy. I'm going to take you into take us. This truly is for me too. Remember, we are individuals of the collective. So as I do my inner work, I'm contributing something more to the contribution of the unfolding for all. And that is it's for you too. A lot of times, especially with the moon in Pisces, whatever you're working with, realize you're working with it for unity for all. You're contributing something to the greater good when you do your soul work, when you pay attention, when even if your offering is just to cry and release, and then vision for something greater for yourself and others, that's sufficient. I'm going to take a sip of my water, and then we're going to go into the meditation. All right. So I'm going to weave in some of what I gathered from this full moon and Brittany's request there. And if you have a request, I'm going to close my eyes off and on. So I will look and see if you add anything else in that I could weave it in. That's how I roll, just spontaneous. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and turn within. And just following your breath inward, taking your awareness inward. And just noticing as you turn within, the first place to start is connection to self, connection to heart and soul. And just breathing in. And as you breathe in, just notice how you're breathing. Are you shallow breathing only into your chest? That may indicate a stress response. Hopefully you're more calm as you've been listening to me, but it's just something to be aware of. Folks who have a trauma background, and I'm one of them, need to be mindful of your breathing at all times. We tend to go unconscious and suddenly we're doing short, shallow breathing, or we're holding our breath. So right now, giving permission to yourself to just take in a full breath all the way into your belly. And exhaling all that you'd like to release in this moment. Letting your awareness expand into compassion for yourself. How are you in this moment? What are you noticing on the inner? How is your body feeling? What does your body need? A good question for Sun in Virgo, Moon in Pisces. What does your body need? What has your body been trying to communicate to you that you maybe haven't been listening to? This is a time to really listen deeply to soul, mind, and body. So I always like to start with a connection and clearing process. And that is a reminder that you're not alone. We're not alone. And however you believe, whatever your faith is, whether it's connection to God or the universe. Some people feel the connection in nature. However you connect, I want you to invite in that energy when you feel connected, when you're reminded that you are a soul having a human experience. It's kind of like putting our, how they say put our oxygen masks on an airplane. Well, I think we need to put it on our spirit masks every once in a while to get a breath of fresh energy to boost our soul and our spirit, and to be in this world, not of this world. So that's kind of what this clearing and connection is like. So feeling a connection, feel and imagine a beautiful warm light just above the crown of your head. And we're inviting this light of love and healing and whatever you need, but mostly to connection, to something higher, something that is loving, spirit, God, the universe, nature. And I hope that when I use the word God, you hear me, that's across all denominations and across all faiths, even if your faith is in being in nature. All is welcomed here. So just feel this light, this grace moving in and through the crown of your head and dissolving all fear thoughts, helping you dissolve some of the old story, the old patterns, the old beliefs that aren't who you truly are. Remember, fear, negative beliefs, and negative patterns come from the human experience. So let's use the power of this healing light and the Pisces moon to dissolve all fear, doubt, and worry and concerns, and let this light continue to move down now through your throat chakra, clearing all stuck energy there, all the words you've swallowed in fear of speaking your truth, all the ways you've held back your expression for fear of being judged. Let this light dissolve and clear all of that right now. It's not serving anyone. This is a time for us to reflect, review where we have been holding back and where we want to expand in our potentials and possibility and our connection to the divine. So letting the light move through your throat, clearing, healing, releasing. And now down into your heart. Your heart, this needs to be a sanctuary for you. A place where you can drop in to receive your own compassion and love and acceptance and to connect more deeply to the divine. Drop into your heart right now, breathing in. And just imagine As you release, letting more compassion and acceptance flow through your body. We need to befriend ourselves, become our own best friends, become our advocates, our true loves. The relationship you have with yourself is the longest relationship you'll have with anyone. And so I really do feel a big part of the spiritual journey and the journey of transformation and reclaiming is up-leveling your love of self and your life. And when we love people or we love something, don't we tend to take good care of the people we love and take good care of even the things we love. So up-leveling your love right now so you could take better care of yourself, your body. And this could look like your self-care improving, the thing that's been niggling, the thing you've been saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to clean up my diet. Oh, yeah, I'm going to start yoga. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get out in nature more. That is your soul saying, listen to me. And not only your soul, your human experience, and often it's your inner child tugging on you, saying, please do the things you know I've needed. I needed when I was little, I need now. So answering, saying yes to that level of self-love and self-care. And bringing your awareness all the way down, just letting the light flow through your core, down through your belly, down your legs, down through your feet, flushing, clearing, releasing, and dissolving all that you'd like to release so you could fill up with the light of possibilities. And now, just breathing in and being curious. What is my soul calling me to? What do I need to be reminded of that needs my attention? What soul calls have I put on mute that I want to listen to now? And that could be a call to learn to play a musical instrument, or to start journaling again, or to enroll in some classes that you're interested in. Or during this retrograde time with so many planets in retrograde, to reach out to someone, to clear the air with someone, to heal a broken relationship or friendship, to reset, restore, reclaim anything from the past. A lot of times we're frozen in the past because we haven't done the healing to claim our power in the present. So just be mindful. And also, if it feels right for you, to let your soul know, I am open for a healing dream. A dream that guides me forward, or this is a good place to, in this inner experience, to what's called incubate a dream, and that is to ask for a dream to give you an answer to a question, like, what do I need to know about my job? Or how can I expand my creative possibilities? Or where am I stuck? And you may even get some images right now, because I think that when you're present to soul and it knows, it's going to give you information. So incubating a dream is another tool here. And right now, the last thing I want to do is I want you to connect to that intention, like whether it is having more peace of mind and confidence, or more expanded awareness and creativity, or healing in your body. Whatever your intention is, your prayer, I think that guided inner reflection or meditation is an inner prayer. It's embodying the prayer, living the prayer through you. Excuse me. So, connecting to an intention, a possibility or a soul connection, I want you just to trust this. Allow an image to form that is a symbol that speaks to your intention or what it will look like to fulfill the vision or an answer. So just allow an image to form, trusting it's a healing response. It's a gift from your soul, and symbols are the language of the soul. And just be curious about that image. What is it communicating to you? What might it be showing you, offering to you? Know that this symbol, this image, is arising from your unconscious to support you, to offer you something you need. And whether it makes sense now or not, later, maybe you can journal and expand on it a little bit more, explore it. What are the qualities of it? If we can personify the image, what message would it have for you right now? What words of encouragement or inspiration? And just trust, whether you saw an image or not, maybe you felt a shift, maybe you became aware of some words. Some people are less visual and more auditory or more kinesthetics. Maybe you felt a message or heard some words of encouragement. And now the last thing, I want you just to place your hand over your heart and just connect to your heart. And thank your soul for all wisdom it shares you. Thank Creator, God, the universe, for the many ways you are held, loved, supported, and guided in your own unique life and unfolding. And stay connected to your own compassion, your own love, for it is meant to support you on your unfolding. Don't need to step over yourself or go looking for anywhere else. It's right there within you, where the divine meets your human experience, and you get to flow with compassion, love, and acceptance. So taking one more deep breath, breathing in, feeling perhaps a spaciousness after this experience, and maybe some wisdom coming forward, bringing back to support you. And go ahead and come on back now. And before we wrap up, I just, maybe if you feel comfortable sharing what that experience was like for you. Did you get an image or a symbol? How do you feel in this moment? And I hope it was helpful for you. And before we wrap up, I'll just hang here for a few more minutes if you want to put anything in the comments or ask me a question before we wrap up. Or did I put you all to sleep? I get that a lot when I make recordings for people, or if people listen to my guided meditations that I have on YouTube, and there are a few you can go back and watch. Oftentimes I hear people will say, or they'll contact me and say, I love your voice. I couldn't listen to the whole thing because I fell asleep after 5 minutes. So, all right, great, Brittany. I'm glad you feel good. Thank you. Love you too, sweetheart. Thanks for being here with me. All right. Thank you, Holly. And thank you, Joe. And this was just a start. I think I may do this once a month. What do you think? Once a month? Either for the new moon or the full moon. Personally, I don't tend to do offerings on the full moon because I myself can feel like I want to just tuck in bed. But it was helpful for me to know that I may be supporting and serving someone else, and I was able to be here. And so maybe I'll do it again on the full moon. Holly, this was exactly what I needed. Oh my goodness, you were able to sit outside next to a river, listening to it flow, and felt such a release. I love it. The river is one of my great teachers. When I feel stuck, I go to the river and I watch how she flows, and I say, may I be like a river. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Sending out love to all of you. Thank you for being with me, and I will see you next time. Take good care. Until then, bye.